we would like to brief you on the content of the legislation adopted during the week as part of the draft law on legislation in the Ministry of Justice. Based on our initial document, in connection with the adoption of the law of the Republic of Uzbekistan on licensing, permitting, and notification procedures, the President signed the law on amendments and additions to some legislative acts of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Under the law, the licensing requirement has been repealed in a number of laws due to the fact that certain types of licensed activities are allowed to be carried out through permits and notifications. Accordingly, the Criminal Code introduced a liability that could lead to criminal liability when engaging in an activity that requires notification or obtaining a permit without sending a notice or engaging in an undocumented activity with a permit. The Code of Administrative Liability also sets out measures of responsibility for these actions. The law on medicines and pharmaceutical activities stipulates that the following areas of pharmaceutical activity do not require a license: production, manufacture, wholesale of medical devices, on the creation of medicines and medical devices, research work, quality control of medicines and medical devices, packaging and wholesale of medicinal plant raw materials. Based on our next document, the government approved a regulation on the procedure for providing unsecured loans for the construction of additional housing for children from families included in the Iron Book and Women's Book and newlyweds included in the Youth Book. According to the regulations, loans are issued by banks on terms of repayment, security, timeliness, and purpose. Loans are provided to certain categories of young people on an unsecured basis. In this case, the guarantees of the fund's generosity and support, Women's Book, Youth Book are provided. No fee is charged for the issuance of a guarantee. Borrowers must meet the following eligibility criteria, including 18 years of age and not more than 30 years of age, newly married, first time for both parties, have not previously received a preferential mortgage loan under affordable housing programs. Accordingly, loans to certain categories of youth at the market rate with a grace period of 6 months at the request of the customer for a period not exceeding 20 years, starting price in the amount of not less than 15% of the cost of additional housing in a detached house, issued to one borrower in the amount not exceeding 33 million sums. The bank will consider the issue of granting a loan to the applicant within 3 working days after the submission of the relevant documents. If the application is approved, a loan agreement will be signed. The law on amendments and additions to some legislative acts of the Republic of Uzbekistan was signed by the President. The law introduced a number of changes to the tax code. In particular, the amendment to Article 99 of the Code stipulates that the State Tax Committee has the right to pay taxes, as well as turnover tax in the prescribed manner without collateral, without a guarantee or bank guarantee, including income tax, social tax, excluding income tax at the source of payment. According to the amendments to Article 378 of the Code, the taxpayer's income for education in vocational schools, colleges, technical schools, and higher education institutions of the Republic of Uzbekistan, his own education as well as the education of his children or husband, wife, under 26 is not taxed. Previously, this privilege was applied only to higher education. Government resolution on measures for the widespread introduction of modern information technologies in the activities of internal affairs agencies. According to the resolution from March 1, 2022, the following services are provided electronically through a single portal of interactive state services: inviting a foreign citizen to Uzbekistan, obtaining relevant documents and certificates confirming the citizenship of Uzbekistan abroad, obtaining information on convictions, non-convictions, checking the presence of bans on vehicles, setting a time for detainees in penitentiary institutions and address colonies to meet with their close relatives. If the driver does not have the documents that must be submitted to the inspector of the Road Patrol Service, they are checked by means of a special tablet device with an identification ID card. In this case, the practice of requiring the driver of a vehicle belonging to a citizen with an identification ID card will be abolished. New driver's license, documents confirming the registration of the vehicle, the right to own the vehicle, use it in the absence of the owner of dispose or insurance policy, and compulsory civil liability insurance of transport owners. Until February 1, 2022, information on insurance contracts will be fully entered into a single information system. The resolution also approved a program of measures for the introduction of information technology in the system of internal affairs. Presidential decree on measures to increase the efficiency of the Tashkent Metro. In accordance with the decision, Tashkent Metro Unitary Enterprise was transferred from Uzbekistan Railways to the Ministry of Transport and renamed Tashkent Metro State Unitary Enterprise. Transportation links at 7 metro stations: Beruniy, Chorsu, Paxtakor, Almazar, Turkistan, Qo'yliqbozor, Chilonzor until July 1st, 2022. By October 1st, 2022, parking lots will be established around 6 metro stations: Turkistan, Yunusobod, Chilonzor, and stations 3, 4, and 5 of the overground ring line for passenger transport entering Tashkent. From January 1st, 2022, a mobile application will be launched, which will include the following information and services. Until April 1st, 2022, passengers will be able to connect to the free underground metro station with a free Wi-Fi system and use the services of mobile operators at underground metro stations. Thank you for your attention. You can get acquainted with the full text of these documents on the website lex.uz, as well as news on the legislation on the Telegram channel of the Ministry of Justice, Legal Information.